Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into a story that's genuinely fascinating, one that sits at the intersection of heritage, sustainability, and AI transformation. We're talking about TaigaSchool, a former Finnish village school that's become Europe's premier AI Vision Quest retreat. Sam, I know you've been digging into this one. What caught your attention first?
Honestly, Alex, the whole concept grabbed me because it's not just another corporate retreat center slapped into a converted building. This is something much more intentional. TaigaSchool started as a genuine rural school serving the Kusamo region in northeastern Finland, educating kids for decades in this environment where nature and learning were completely inseparable. And instead of letting it become just another generic commercial space when enrollment declined, they asked, how do we honor what this place was while reimagining its purpose for the AI era?
That's the angle I found compelling too. So let's rewind a bit. The rural education challenge in Finland and really across Europe is pretty stark, right? We're talking about demographic shifts, families moving to cities, consolidation of schools.
Exactly. According to Statistics Finland data from 2022, rural school consolidation accelerated dramatically throughout the 2010s, with enrollment in small villages declining by roughly 35%. Kusamo wasn't immune to that trend. The original village school eventually closed its doors to traditional students, which is a story we see repeated across Scandinavia and beyond. But here's where TaigaSchool diverges from the typical narrative of rural decline.
Instead of watching the building decay or turning it into a strip mall, the stakeholders had this vision. They saw an opportunity to preserve the educational legacy while pivoting to something contemporary. Walk us through how that actually happened operationally.
The transformation was thoughtful and deliberate. They preserved the original structure's character. The library became this knowledge commons, classrooms became learning studios, dorms became guest rooms. But the mission shifted fundamentally. Instead of teaching Finnish children traditional subjects, TaigaSchool now hosts AI lead architecture training and what they call AI Vision Quest programs. It's about immersive professional development and personal transformation through structured AI mentorship.
I love that they didn't strip mine the building, right? They actually respected its bones. And then they layered in modern infrastructure, geothermal heating, renewable energy, high-speed connectivity, without erasing what made it special. There's research behind this approach, isn't there?
Yes. McKinsey research from 2023 calls this heritage innovation. It's the strategic reuse of historical infrastructure for new purposes that maintain cultural continuity while advancing contemporary missions. And here's the kicker. Facilities that do this show about 40% higher stakeholder engagement compared to entirely new developments. That's not trivial. People care when you're honoring history while solving modern problems.
That makes sense psychologically, too. When you walk into a space with genuine history and character, there's a different energy. But then there's the location itself, Kitkajärvi Lake in Lapland. That's not accidental, I assume.
Not at all. Kusamo sits in Finnish Lapland and is surrounded by 4 national parks, Pyhäluosto, Ulanka, Riisitunturi, Hiidenportti. The region is ecologically extraordinary. Kitkajärvi's pristine waters and ancient forests create an environment that naturally facilitates deep reflection. And there's the midnight sun phenomenon, which is psychologically unique. It shifts how people experience time and consciousness. For an AI Vision Quest program, that's powerful psychology at work.
So you're not just removing people from their usual context. You're putting them in a landscape that actually facilitates the kind of cognitive reset and reflection that might be necessary when rethinking your relationship with AI. That's pretty clever design.
Exactly. And here's what I find most interesting. The retreat isn't positioned as escape to nature to forget about technology. It's the opposite. You're in this pristine wilderness, but you're deeply engaged with AI mentorship and transformation work. The contrast is intentional. You're learning to think differently about artificial intelligence while surrounded by natural intelligence, if you will.
That juxtaposition feels important. So when we talk about EtherTravel's AI MindQuest program being hosted here, we're talking about something pretty comprehensive, aren't we? This isn't a weekend workshop in a corporate hotel.
No. From what's documented, this is structured, immersive professional development. AI lead architecture training, personal transformation through AI mentorship. These are not surface-level offerings. Participants are expected to engage deeply over extended periods. The infrastructure supports that. Learning studios for focused work, guest accommodations that are comfortable but not luxurious, access to wilderness for reflection time. It's designed as a total environment.
I'm curious about the sustainability angle here because I imagine that's non-negotiable in Finland, but also for a retreat center focused on transformation. The ethos around environmental responsibility probably matters to the messaging.
It absolutely does. The modernization of TaigaSchool incorporated geothermal heating and renewable energy systems. In Lapland, those aren't just marketing points, they're practical necessities, but they're also philosophically aligned with the whole concept. If you're inviting people to rethink their relationship with technology and futures, hosting them in a facility that's genuinely sustainable sends a coherent message. You're not just talking about responsible transformation, the building itself embodies it.
So from a business or organizational perspective, what's the broader trend here? Is this an isolated success story? Or does TaigaSchool represent something larger happening in how institutions are reinventing themselves?
I think it's both. TaigaSchool is genuinely unique in its specifics, the location, the heritage, the Finnish educational ethos. But the pattern is broader. Organizations globally are asking how to preserve institutional identity and cultural continuity while pivoting to serve entirely new needs. Rural communities are looking for ways to retain relevance and economic vitality, and there's growing recognition that transformation, especially around AI, happens better in intentional, immersive environments rather than extractive, transactional ones.
That's a really good point. The transformation in an immersive environment piece is key, especially when we're talking about something as cognitively and emotionally complex as reimagining your professional identity around AI. You can't do that in a hotel ballroom with PowerPoint slides.
Right? And this is where TaigaSchool becomes a case study for what's possible. You've got a sustainable facility with modern infrastructure, authentic connection to place and heritage, access to natural restoration, and deep professional programming, all in one coherent package. For professionals undertaking AI Vision Quest work, that combination is powerful.
If someone's listening and thinking, this sounds interesting, but I want to know more about how this works operationally or what the programs actually involve, where would they go?
The full story is available on etherlink.ai. There's detail there about TaigaSchool's history, the transformation process, the specific programs being offered, and the research behind why this model works for professional AI development.
Perfect. Sam, thanks for walking through this with me. It's one of those stories that feels both unique and somehow inevitable. A rural Finnish school becomes an AI transformation retreat. Only in the AI era, right?
Exactly. And that's what makes it worth paying attention to. It's not a gimmick. It's a thoughtful response to real challenges by people who understood both the cultural value of their institution and the genuine needs of professionals navigating massive technological change.
For the full article and more on TaigaSchool's remarkable journey, head to etherlink.ai. Thanks for listening to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex with Sam. We'll catch you next time.